Hello, everybody. This is your professor, Rabbi Barry Altman. And from Mikasa to Sukasa, we're going to do a Rabbi Altman show and tell. So this is the first of a few that I'd like to do for you on YouTube. And I want to begin with something special that I have in my house. It's a replica of a famous statue in Italy, and the original full-size, life-size, larger than life-size, was done by Michelangelo. So let me show you the replica right here, and I'll show it to you once again later on. But I want to make sure that you see this particular statue. Yes, Michelangelo, considered the greatest genius of all time, perhaps, and of course the late Renaissance hero of art and architecture and sculpture. So Michelangelo was asked to create a tomb for Pope Pius. Pius was still alive, but that was what happened in those days. They would create tombs for the eventual death. This tomb would have at least 6 8-foot statues surrounding the tomb itself, including one of the figure of Moses. Well, another thing came up in between, called the Sistine Chapel in the Vatican. And we know that Michelangelo was called to do that. So what happened was the Pope dies. Now on to this tomb. Not a lot of money there. The heirs don't want to pay a lot of money. So there's time and there's room and there's money for one sculpture. That's going to be Moses, the same Moses that I showed you before. So what would I like to talk to you about today? And that is something very special about this Moses. You see that there are 2 protrusions at the top of his head. Are they horns? What was Michelangelo thinking? Horns on Moses? Well, perhaps that is part of the misunderstanding and mistranslation from the Latin, from the Vulgate of St. Jerome, when he translated the word carne or, the Hebrew, rays of light, halos perhaps, rays of spiritual effervescence. And of course that word keren in Hebrew, strictly speaking, means horns as well. Did Moses have horns? I don't think so. Do Jews have horns? I don't think so. But of course, that's what we're talking about here in this particular episode. So here we are, Moses, a great and wonderful statue. Moses, angry, anxious, ready to move. Perhaps Michelangelo was thinking of Moses descending from Mount Sinai, there to find the Israelites down below, cavorting around that golden calf. Who knows? But this Moses, angry as anything. And of course, from the book of Exodus, the idea that Moses returning with the letters and the words contained in the 10 Commandments emanated rays of light for his relationship with God. And so we have the first of our show and tells today, and I'm going to ask you to keep it in mind and save it, because perhaps you want to refer to it later on. So here we are, and I want to say goodbye, stay safe, and Mr. Max says safe as well. Bye.